your chance to know. Let me show you why. Let me show you why. Let me show you why. Let me show you why.
Grand Rising, my brother.
Grand Rising.
How
Grand
about
Rising. Bless. And yourself?
I'm great, man. I'm great.
Great. First, let's get right into it. Got a lot to unpack. A lot of confusion in this universe. Some things we just have to talk about. We got to make it make sense.
Yeah, man.
Some things we just got to make it make sense. I don't know.
Yeah.
So before we get into that, let's get into our disclaimer. First and foremost, the Humblest Opinion is brought to you by AB2C Broadcasting, B Camera BTV, and Professional Renaissance Protection Services. Just so you know, the Humblest Opinion is brought to you by an at-will clause. You have the right to exercise any rights of choice at any matter, subject matter, thought process, idea, concept, communication that you feel is offensive. But by you sticking around, by you being here, we just want to let you know and say that you or we are completely 100% non-liable for anything said, spoken, played, reviewed, thoughts, received, and or disseminated. So, with that said, we're looking around, just recapping the events of what's going on around the world. And maybe it's this ongoing pandemic, or maybe it's the weather, maybe it's being huddled up in the house for so long. Who knows? But there's been quite a bit of questionable things or crazy things or wonky things that's been happening. We're going to take a look at a few of them right now. Today, recently, a few days ago, a Louisiana woman, one day she woke up looking for a check of $89 into her bank account. And as she received this, went there eagerly this morning looking for this money, she saw not $89, but $1.2 million in her bank account.
Yep.
And she immediately proceeded to start the process of buying a house and a SUV. Unbeknownst to her, the bank, I'm not sure we can call the name of it, but the bank said, nope, whoops. They accidentally put that money into her account. The lady works for the sheriff's office, was fired from her job under the guise of stealing. They've since recovered almost 70% of the money from her, but they refuse to she refuses to give the money back, which I somewhat agree with. But Igambo, explain how this could happen. Tell us your thoughts first off.
Here's the thing, right? We are we have to look at things morally, and then you look at things legally.
Correct.
And honestly and truthfully, in none of those regards, I really find her wrong. Now, morally, one can say, oh, if you saw something that you know that you should not have received, then you should have gone and asked them. But I don't have to. You can say that morally. Morally, you feel like I should, but I don't have to go and do that. Legally, I didn't steal any money. Nobody went up inside the bank and pulled a gun on them and took out $1.2 million. She did not hack the system and have $1.2 million transferred to her bank account. All right, let's speak on the topic of wire transfers. A wire transfer is non-reversible once that person already receives that money. So who's to say that somebody didn't end up giving the wrong account number? I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm saying that she might think that somebody ended up giving the wrong account number because it's just as simple as one error in a number, and it could have been deposited. Right now, that's hers. Like, you can't do anything about that legally. So how is it that you go and make an error? All right. Now, you want to say stealing? I guess it all I guess it all depends on how you want to term or deem it, because you knew that it wasn't yours. But here's the thing, though. I mean, something get thrown through the window and it ends up being a bag of money. I mean, I didn't know where it come from. I mean, I don't see how it's really stealing, because anyone can say yes. It was me who threw the bag, but I don't know. I didn't see you do that. I just mine now. You know what I mean?
I didn't see your name on it.
Yes, you know what I mean. So I understand. I understand what it is that they're trying to do, and I understand in reference to the sheriff's office situation, simply because of the fact that they're saying, "Hey, you're supposed to be one of the people who upholds the law, right?"
Question,
so
quote unquote, the standards of equity, which is another thing.
Right. So maybe, because even with her being fired, I could actually understand them letting her go, simply because of the fact that according to their contract, then they're not supposed to be involved in any kind of impropriety of that particular level or stature, especially since they would have been the people who would have been sent to go and get her if the bank had been able to have a summons sent out to go and collect her. So I understand their standpoint on it. Not that I'm not saying I agree with them. I'm not saying I agree with them at all. I'm just saying I understand their standpoint. Now, as it relates to the bank, that's the bank's fault. Now, here's another point. I feel, in my opinion, that this highlights the kind of treachery would just be taking place inside the banking system, because a lot of times they're moving around people's money and stealing money from other people, and it just ended up in the wrong account. You have people who work for the bank that steal money from other people. Okay, they steal money from your personal account, okay, and transfer it to other places. They steal money from people's accounts who have died, and it's been inactive for a certain period of time. Nobody came to claim it, so they go and they take that money and they transfer that. Who's to say that somebody else wasn't stealing and they ended up dumping it there? Because how do you make that kind of a mistake? $1.2 million onto somebody's account. How do you make that kind of mistake? How?
Yeah. I think about this and put this in all perspective. Yeah, like you said, it's a moral responsibility, and there is a legal responsibility. Now, bear in mind, most of these banks have no, and I say this without question, absolutely no, zero moral standing or footing that they can stand on relative to anybody. If you've had a bank account, you've probably been looking at the bank or seeing your monthly statement and saw someone yanking $12, $15, $27, in some cases, even $35 out of your bank account, simply because they're holding your money. I personally don't think, if you're doing a service, that, come on. Also, I've seen people only have $18 or have $20 in their account, and you can't go to the ATM to get your $20 out because you don't have
No.
more than the $20 that's in your account.
Right.
So, maybe that's some broke people problems. I don't know. But I remember that might not be your situation, but that is not morally right. Because if people need that money to do something, and you're charging them extra money to get their own money or charging them money for holding their money, that's not right. On top of that, overdraft fees. I made a payment. The payment was maybe, I think it was just something that on an automatic deposit. And it was a 70-cent charge. The bank didn't recognize the payment. The people who were supposed to get the payment had a time sensitive on it. They charged me $40 for the return payment because they sent it and then they didn't send it. Then the bank charged me $33 because it processed it as an overdraft charge because my account was locked. And they're saying, no, we're doing fraud. We're stopping fraud on your account. So basically between the 40 and the 33, that's 70-something dollars just simply because of 70 cents. So the bank has no moral standing to stand on this. Then the bank, or the banks, which keep having to be bailed out every 9-10 years, by the way, by your hard-earned money, by my hard-earned money, they get government funds to be kept open. Obama did it. Biden did it. Bush did it in America. So when they make one mistake and send this young lady this money, they probably should ask nicely for the money. And given the fact that most banks and their monies are insured anyway.
Insured. They're insured.
They probably don't even miss this money. They're probably going to get the money back. So why is it that they're so adamant to get this money from this young lady? So I don't think she should have been fired.
I don't feel that she should have been fired, but I'm just saying I'm going according to the systems.
But it looks a certain way. I agree.
Information. Okay, here's the thing. We need to realize and understand first and foremost that everything that is in place was put in place by thieves, murderers, rapists,
crooks.
Criminals, just straight up criminals. All right. Not an opinion. 1,000% facts.
Fact.
All right. So the fact that it's been put in place by these people, they know why they put it in place. They put it in place to make certain that they are protected, that they are taken care of. All right.
Yeah.
Laws that were passed in a way that, okay, you know what? We know that this is wrong. We know that this is criminal, but we're going to make it legal, because just because something is legal doesn't make it right. So we're going to make it legal. And what we're also going to do is make it illegal for other people to do the illegal things that we're doing.
To them. Right? It's banks, just the whole principle of someone holding your money and charging you to hold your money, doesn't really make proper sense, but it happens. It happens.
See, the thing about it is they push the agenda because they control the media. So they push the agenda that, listen, this is the safest thing for you to do. But you're taking, okay, I already had to work hard to get this money. However I earned it, I already had to work hard to get this money. Now you're charging me to hold my money that, honestly and truthfully, I didn't really ask you to hold, Like I didn't need you to hold this. You know what I mean? I get cut up and hold them in one mattress, put a safe inside one wall, behind a picture in the ground, whatever. I hold my money how I want to hold my money. But what you're saying to me is that it's illegal for me to have a certain amount of money outside of the bank. It has to be kept in the bank. So now you're charging me whatever you want to charge me, and then there are certain countries, like Caribbean countries, where the banks basically write their own rules. They do whatever they want to do. Okay, they do whatever they want to do. There's no real there's no real checks and balances for them. Now, when it becomes international issues, then they have to adhere to certain things. But when they go into these countries, they basically run these countries. They do whatever they want to, charge people whatever fees they want to for whatever they want to. It's just crazy.
And speaking of that, in one Caribbean country, which will remain nameless, the former premier of the country, or the leader of the country, started his own bank.
Mm-hmm.
And while he's long and gone and dead, he's no longer, in charge of the bank. But he actually, by happenstance, events just magically that the party that his son is a part of, that party, every time they come into power, the other competing banks happen to, experience hardships. Scotiabank shutting down branches, Royal Bank of Canada leaving town, or closing branches, and just standing strong as ever
Mm-hmm.
is the bank that was started by the gentleman, and owned, in majority shareholding by his son. So like I said, banks don't have any moral high ground. We're not even going to go into the fact that banks openly, actively started and participated in the slave trade.
Yes.
This young lady's grandmother or great grandmother could have been sold into slavery by this same bank potentially.
Mm-hmm.
We can't. Let's not go into that. Let's not talk about that. Because that's a whole nother topic of reparations and such. I just personally feel that $1 million, which is insured, will they miss it? No. Is it going to be hard for her to file on her taxes? Yes. But it's some code, it's some way that she can keep it, and I think she should. So, but yeah, man,
All right. So
anything else?
yeah. So speaking, since we're speaking about $1 million or millions of dollars, you know, we could go to the BLM co-founder, you know, who bouncing
Yeah.
around buying $1 million homes, and come on, all right. Uh,
Yeah.
um, okay. Go. Okay. First off, you're teething the people money, because all of this money would have been donated or funded to you from George Soros,
Yeah.
to hoodwink the black people into believing that you all care about Black Lives Matter. And then you're gonna take it and show how much more of a coon you are by moving into a neighborhood or trying to get home in a neighborhood where the population is less than 2% black, right? So
She's moving on up. She was moving on up.
yeah, but but now she's moving on up with a double down cocoonery, though, a double dose of cocoonery, because here it is now. All right, the Black Lives Matter, and I don't know if they've moved it yet, but I'd read upon it on a couple of times a little while back, where they put it on the platform that this was about a transsexual thing. They never mentioned anything about the the true rights of black people, and the fact that we need to rise up together as one unit and
They
make a
haven't
change for
actually.
the black people. They were speaking
Yeah.
they didn't even say LGBTQ. They say transgender, my brother. So they already chose which section of the LGBTQ they was dealing with. Okay, now when they had their movements and riots, they infiltrated things. These things were infiltrated by others who would have started fires and fights and whatnot to stain whatever it is that was being done. But a lot of people were pushing for the funding of this. And this is where, right back to what I was saying, Barkley had said recently, most of the people on this earth are good people.
Yeah.
A lot of the people do not agree with the rules and laws that are in place. Let's take, for example, prior to Bacon's revolt, and anybody could go and do the necessary research on that in the 1600s. Blacks, and there was no such thing as white yet. It was just
Right.
you were labeled by the area that you came from. So those from the British colonies and those from the
We're
African
British. Yep.
Yes, and those from the African continents and the indigenous people, all of those who were in because slavery. This is what I'm talking about. Slavery time, who were enslaved or indentured servants, worked together, lived together. You understand what I'm saying? So when
Yeah.
the revolt came, they were fighting together as one people. So after the revolt, which lasted for more than a year, they were like, you know what, but we can't have this no more. This was too much. You know what I mean? This was too much. We could have lost everything. So what they started to do was pass laws calling people white and then giving more privileges to those white people. So now it was divide and conquer. Because why should I be listening to you or riding with you when you have a much better situation going on for you than me? Now, mind you,
Right.
that did not raise the whites to a higher financial status. What it did, though, was that it plummeted anybody who was not labeled white to the bottom. So it pushed them down. So even though it didn't raise the white that much, because you were so pushed so far down up, they were far higher than you in reference to the laws. But the elites still had that huge gap, which they do still to this day. Still to
Yeah.
this day.
Yeah.
Okay.
You,
You know,
yeah. Hello?
so yeah.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying, we have to look behind the curtain of all these things that have been taking place. Um, the people who were so good to have funded or tried to fund, right? We're talking about those who go and pledge money after these natural disasters. People who, when they see a movement, they wanna back it and say, okay, well, I can't be in the forefront dealing with certain things, but what I can do what I can do is assist financially in helping you all to meet your goals. So that's why I'm saying about the most people being naturally good. So what they do is that they try to create more division because they create things that they know are going to piss people off because you put something in the front of me and say this is what we're about, or you give it a name and say, listen, this is what we're trying to do. You understand?
Yeah.
And
I
then you
uh-huh.
show that there's an agenda behind that. So gradually and eventually, you're going to get people to the point where they don't want to support anything anymore. Everyone could be on their own, which makes it even worse.
Yeah. I we the separation of all these things and all these supposed things and creations, and I get your point. Um, it's just nonsense. Nonsense. It doesn't make any sense. First of all, the word black or the thought black or the separation of black, like you're saying, it's not even a thing. So technically, black doesn't actually exist as a
No,
race.
no,
So just take black off the shirt. So black lives. So just take black off. That's not what it is. Um, Secondly, if you want to say African, you know, that's not the name. That was the name
no,
of a
no,
conqueror
no, no.
from Rome that came to Africa, came to Al Kebalon or the Abyssinia. And it had different names. There was so much different tribes. So he named, or it was colloquially called Africa. His name was Scipio Africanus.
Hmm.
So it was people before he got there. So he
Yes,
can't
of
name it
course.
Africa.
Uh,
It was
uh,
Bantu people and no. So no, it's stupid. It's silly. It's not even Africa. So and then the creation of all of these distant levels, like you said, just to be to make poor whites, that 2 or 400 year head start through whatever economic benefits that they could get that regular black people or regular melanated people could not get. They were, you know, they were at the bottom of it, but they were still feeling, the worst of the worst, the most incompetent. They still weren't that much feeling or over black people, so they had to come up with this concept of this. So, um, that's just simply where they stand on what they did to kind of make themselves better. Now, for the young lady, and me personally, I never supported Black Lives Matter. The whole tokenism and small petty victories of nothingness, was just so overwhelmingly stupid. It's unbelievable. So, okay, let me give you a couple examples. You mean to tell me if someone's getting shot or harassed by the police, as far as black people, if you paint Black Lives Matter on the street where that person is harassed and where other people are going to be harassed, does that make the harassment stop? Hell no. Hell no. That's just tokenism. So, okay, cool. If someone buys a shirt that says Black Lives Matter, do the police care? Do they really, really care?
No, no,
If
no,
they
no.
if they see a man in a U.S. military uniform and they pepper spray and was about to shoot this guy, and he's in a uniform, he's a soldier, he's a Marine, he can kill you, and he's willfully submitting, and they harass him because he's black. You think they care about a Black Lives Matter shirt
Nope.
or a mask? You can put a Black
Nope.
Lives Matter sticker on your fucking car. They don't care. They do not care.
No.
The problem is
No.
not with Black Lives Matter. And then, okay, I remember watching, a movie last year that was one of the best top movies, the Fateful Eight or the Six or something like that. The brothers that went to Vietnam, with bless his soul, Chiwetel Ejiofor in there, and the actor Chadwick Boseman in there, where they went over to Vietnam and they picked up all their gold bars and bullion and came back with it. When I saw this, and he was like, "Oh well, his last dying wish was to give some of the money to Black Lives Matter." I was like, "Damn!" I just sat through all this garbage, and this was, I'm like, "Damn," I'm like, "Damn, they got me. They got me." Good thing I didn't pay
Yeah.
for this crap. But now the lady, not only did she buy one house, she
Mhm.
bought multiple houses in different Caucasianized or previously redlined areas. Maybe it's a plan, Brother Gamba. Maybe she wants to take over the neighborhood. Who knows? Maybe she wants to buy back the neighborhood and just allow Black lives people to come and live there. I don't know. Maybe that's her way of injecting diversity. For what I can see, though, this seems like a hoax. This seems like a thief. Many people didn't do any research. So now look at you. You majority of silly people that didn't do the research, you're sitting there with something on your record. You were arrested, detained, whatever it was. You have that on your permanent record. You still have a problem. You're probably gonna have a problem getting a job or anything else like that. You fought for this movement that you didn't really do the research on. And now the owner or the founder is living in her her houses on the hill with your money.
Mhm.
Just food for thought on how silly, some people are and just looking for a revolution, but not really wanting to do the work themselves or do the research themselves.
See, and that is how they get you. That is how they get you all the time. And those who are smart enough to see what is going on, they say, "Hey, I have no problem with being the face of." You want to know why? The reason
Yeah.
why is because these people aren't held accountable. That's why.
Yeah.
See, all right, if we lived in a society where when you were found out for doing these type of things, you were beheaded, you were castrated, you were whipped with the cat nine tail 5,000 times, and if you survived that, then you could go the rest of your life. If we were living in that kind of a society, people would not do these things. But because of the fact that once you attain a certain amount of wealth, a certain amount of popularity, a certain status in this life, you are not held accountable because of that fact. That's why people do this, because they know that once they attain or achieve these goals, they're going to be treated differently. People find out that they got swung, and they'll talk bad about them for a minute or two, and then they forget about them. They will come back out another few years later, maybe not with the same kind of a revolutionary platform, but they'll come out as the head of as a real estate mogul or some other area, and you have people applauding them. Oh, she did so much. Oh, they accomplished so much in it. Oh, I'm so proud of them. Or yeah, man, you got to give props. Oh, you hating, man. And all knows that. You understand? So that's the kind of world. That's the kind of world that we live in. You could have been charged for, accused of, or proven of, guilty of a number of different things. All right, and most of them would be forgivable in the eyes of the public, as long as you have a high rating within the mainstream media. Mainstream media is usually who causes you to rise or fall. They tell the public, oh, this is a good person. They tell the public, that's a bad person. That's the reason why I have to do my research myself. Because the most times, if you see the mainstream media pushing for someone, they're terrible. If they're pushing against them, if they're pushing against somebody, that person is usually doing something that they are not okay with because they're trying to destroy the agenda. That's how I see it, and it's been proven right the majority of the times when I've done my research. All right.
Yep.
So whenever you see them backing somebody, allowing these people to get in the forefront and do certain things, always be concerned. Always.
Yeah. We have to. It is an agenda. You know, again, there's just so much stuff out here that doesn't make sense. Moving on. Yesterday, another thought. Coinbase, which people don't know, which is an online wallet or service. Kevin Durant, NBA star. He's he's probably one of the greatest recruiters in sports history. But he's a star nonetheless. Good basketball player. He invested. He bought based on the IPO. Now he bought this way back in 2017, back when Coinbase, the company, was really, really small. And he's bought a valuation, or what equates to $160 million today, when they went public yesterday. And we put in about maybe $500,000 or $1.6 million into it about 3-4 years ago. So he's won.
Mm.
He made $186 million just overnight. The valuation has gone up to $86 billion for the Coinbase app. So
right.
This gentleman, instead of celebrating his winnings, you know what he was doing? He went online and got into an online argument over people that are debating his skills. Bear in mind, he's already in the NBA. Bear in mind, he's already won championships. Bear in mind, he's just got $160 million richer.
Why are you even focused on this?
That is my point. Make it make sense, Brother Gamba. Help me out.
I listen. That individual, he's an ass. He's just a straight up ass. Because, listen, see, what we fail to realize is that we have a lot of big children running around. Just really because you're big in size does not mean that your mind grew with your body. And we have a whole lot of big children out there. You have to be extremely immature to be concerned about something of that nature when you're in that league and caliber. That doesn't make sense. First off, what the hell are you even doing online unless I in a friggin' WhatsApp group talking to my friends and family? You know what I mean? Okay. Yeah. While they're congratulating me, if I'm on the phone, I mean, I probably on the phone. If I don't have me a sexy wife, at this point, I try to dial home. I can be real. I try to dial home. Let me enjoy myself. Let me have a good time. You understand what I'm saying? That's gonna be my focus. I'm there on or if I'm online, I check out the properties that I could buy. You understand me? The real estate that I can get involved in, the investments that I could make with this newfound wealth. That's my focus and my concern. You know, time for those small, petty-minded people who ain't in my league financially. Come
Who he
on, man.
doesn't even know.
That's what I'm
Who
saying.
he
But
will probably
that's my
never
point.
even
Like,
meet.
come on, come on. What? Why do I care? Who are you? Who, listen, I don't have no pay. I don't have no money, and I don't care. So when I get money, you better believe I give a shit.
Why is this guy? Furthermore, he's supposed to be hurt. You have time to be arguing with. We got in an argument a couple of days ago with Shannon Sharp, and Shannon Sharp is like, "Look, I'm not arguing with you. Like ESPN doesn't pay me to argue. Shannon Sharp, former NFL player and a commentator for ESPN now. He says, look, and ESPN doesn't pay me to argue with you or state my opinion that you might or might not like on my own time. Like I'm gonna do that on the show, and then that's over. You can like it if you want. That's what Shannon Sharp's response was. Durant then took to Twitter, who was supposed to be hurt, by the way. Having rehab or just bouncing back, whatever else it was. Don't even worry about his NBA check because he doesn't even ever probably need to cash that. Some NBA players that are Hall of Famers have never made $50 million. He made in one day reportedly $160 to $186 million just yesterday. Yesterday.
Yeah.
And you're online. He technically is worth probably he just made probably more money than Shannon Sharp is gonna make in the next 20, 30 years in one day. And you're arguing with this guy, and then you're online creating fake accounts to argue for 5 hours. A reported 5 hours with random strangers.
How empty is your life, man?
Come on, man. I'm scratching my head here. Make it make sense.
Listen,
What?
with the amount of money, he have, he could get himself a life, man. He could literally buy himself a life. You need to go and do that, okay? Because obviously his life is empty. If he got 5 hours, what? No, man, I don't want 5 hours a day to focus on nothing. Not no one topic. No,
just
sir.
Random.
Not no one situation. No.
Strangers with arguments.
Wow.
On another note, we want to offer, because it's sad that other people, people die, pass away. The enslaver, 99 years. Most people won't live to be 99 years. He lived a long time. And him, that shall remain nameless on this show, the prince, somebody's prince. I don't know whose prince he is, but he passed away. And his wife, his beloved wife that was forced to marry him when she was 20-something years old as a political move, and they ate at separate times and slept in separate rooms, but was so much in love. So much in love.
Yeah. Yep. So much in love.
They traveled separately, and they, for almost 60, 70 years, they had separate ambitions, you have some relationships now that can't last, if someone goes out of town, but these people, they're the queen, or Elizabeth, was just recently posted on Twitter. I don't know how true it was. Sorry, on Tinder.
On Tinder, I don't think she posted that time. All right, because now we go right back to the small and empty minds and lives of somebody to even have the time and interest to do that. That's not really the character, but I mean,
who knows though? Who knows though?
I mean, yes. Who knows? These are okay. Understand me. These are very, very terrible. These are very, very. These are very, very wicked and terrible people. But I don't know if they got time for it.
We had a guy that just got $186 million and wants to stay online and argue for 5 hours with random strangers.
Well, okay, but hold on, but here's the difference. Here's the difference with this person. They have been living a lie for their entire life. They've carried themselves in a particular way for their entire life. They know the rules and regulations of decorum. So It's
Yeah.
doubtful because see that individual, he's new. Come on, man.
New money.
This a old trained oppressor who has trained other oppressors over the many years.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so we can't put those two in the same category. You know.
Yeah. Well, understood. Good point taken. But it was just good to see, Ella get her groove back, or try to. You know,
uh,
um, I know some guys out here. They would take that time. there, there's some guys out here that I know.
oh man, yeah,
They would take one. They would take it
yeah,
just for the greater good, but again,
yeah,
for the
yeah. They'll take
greater
one for the TV.
for the greater good.
A
Nine,
letter, a letter actually get some real pleasure for once in a lifetime. And
that
I, I
that
mean, who knows? I mean, who knows?
1928 classic.
I mean, who knows? They've been owning slaves, so who's to say she didn't get, there's some things going on over the
Hey,
course of
that's a
time.
good point.
She might
That's a
have her
good
own
point.
person on the side, but hey, who knows?
That 1928 classic.
Mm.
Somebody what somebody would swipe right. Somebody would send a message. So hey, what are you doing?
Say what's up? What's up?
What's up?
I don't have the plans
Just
tonight. What you doing?
yeah, I like long walks on the beach and
Yeah.
colonial oppressors with a lot of money. I don't know. Somebody would
But
have took that chance.
yeah, well, I could agree with you. A lot of somebody's would, But what I would say is this though. We need to learn to take a page out of these people's books because you touched on something earlier where it was a forced marriage. They slept in separate bedrooms. Here it is
They
now.
ate at
We have
separate
people,
times.
right? We have people who don't have two nickels to rub together, but they want to freak themselves out
Oh
because
my
they
goodness.
focus. Yes, they focus in on love, but these people made trillions of dollars over the course of their time together as a unit, making this thing happen and work. This is where a lot of people go wrong. So, so when you hear the women, oh, you should leave him because he was cheating. That nigga worth $50 million, $100 million. What your man got? Yeah, for shut the hell up. You
2 pairs of
need to.
Jordans.
Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? Okay, 2 pairs of Jordan and some holy drawers. You need to try your best to align yourself with a successful man or a successful mate, because it cuts both ways, right? Who's going to help to build you and grow you, whether you all are evil together or whether you all are good together. But that's what you need to do. You need to try to put yourself in a position where you can ascend instead of pushing yourself back. And it's the mindset of, oh, I might not like him physically, or oh, I'm not, or oh, I'm in love and I'm tripped out, but that love can't pay the bills because when BEC come to turn off the light, they're looking for money, check, money order. Okay, at some point later in life, maybe Bitcoin, but they sure as hell ain't looking for no love.
Right. You
Okay,
when they come to shut your lights off, say no, 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 no. But I love you. You can't cut it off.
exactly. That
They will.
I've never heard that work. I've never heard that work in the history. I mean, listen, somebody can send me the clip. Somebody can send us the clip. They could send
I'll pay for it.
the
I'll pay for
report.
it to see it.
The Yes, where that actually worked, because I don't know it to work in the world that we live in. So what I'm saying is that I'm not saying don't be with somebody who you care about. I'm just simply saying to you that you need to focus on making it better for you and your future generations instead of being caught up on what the mainstream media is telling you, because the people who run the world don't live their lives like y'all.
Right. 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 Like the average person. And I personally, just as a broad blanket statement, hey, take me to task on it. I haven't seen anybody in royalty that I was like, wow, that person is absolutely stunning. I love how they look. I'm so
Hmm.
enraptured by their appearance.
Yeah.
No, everybody that's there, that's not hideous, is some way married in,
Yeah.
and that's a blanket statement. And that's true. Bless
Yeah.
her soul, Diana was an okay looking woman. So was an attractive woman. But she's married in, and her son, who women are swooning over, and Meghan Markle had to go and get, and be enraptured and involved with, which she had to give up her career for. It wasn't the money, right? It wasn't the money. It wasn't
Hmm.
money. It was all love. She loved everything about him, soldier and so valiant. He's the son of Diana. So the outside blood is
Yeah.
what's making it
Yeah.
attractive. I've seen all of the other royals. I don't know who they're royal to. They still have colonies. They still have colonies
Yeah.
today, but
Yeah.
not a handsome or attractive bunch.
No.
You know,
No.
you know. So
No.
maybe they might need a tender. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. Hey. 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 You know what? You have yourself a valid point. You have a
Somebody
valid
might
point.
need to swipe right on that. But again, you got this last one. Tell us about the
All
last
right.
story. Tell us about the story.
Well. I would let's move to the Bahamas, Bahamian news. A while back, there was a young chap, 25 years old, by the age of Shaquille Barrows, and he was on a wanted poster for attempted murder. Now, by all accounts, the the gentleman is not um, an attractive individual, because I don't claim to be Denzel Washington or Shamam or Morris Chestnut myself. You understand me? So I refrain from a lot of these photo ops for the same reason. So here it is now. He was on the wanted poster looking, in my opinion, like a Klingon, right? And and he was getting a whole lot of it was getting a whole lot of traction. A lot of people was just dissing it.
Oh my
So
goodness.
so here it is now. The young brother decides to take to social media. His Facebook handle is called Coolie Coolie. Coolie Coolie. Cooly. Now, it's not just the fact that he decided to comment under a poster that people were ragging on about how unattractive he was. But it's the fact that you're supposed to be on the run, my brother. Like, I mean, the cops looking for you. I mean, this is what the wanted poster is saying. The wanted poster says the fact that it's a wanted poster means that they want you, and not in a good way. You're not being, no one's looking for you for election. You didn't win the public
You didn't get
sweepstakes.
$1.2 million for you
Right,
to come and
yes,
collect.
no. I
You,
mean, like, they're looking for you for attempted
oh
murder. This
my
is a serious
goodness.
crime, bro. Like, this is vagrancy or something, right? And he decides to post under it. He says, "I'm reporting this pic. I don't like it." Um,
Oh
so
my
one of his female
goodness.
friends is like, but you
Uh,
want it or not? Cause like
what the-
I don't understand. Like,
Oh
why the
my
fuck you
goodness.
commenting on this nigga? Like, I don't understand what's going on here. Like, who the fuck does do this? Okay, so
Oh
I
my
I
goodness.
I I just feel like the brother needs to be mentioned because I mean that's just a different level in my opinion, man.
Make it make sense.
Brother Bahama, make it make sense to me, man.
Make it make sense. Brother, I don't have nothing for it. I'm here sitting in tears laughing. I can't believe. I cannot believe that this happened. Okay, let's think about it. If you report, okay, you're on the run. Hey, I don't know if you did it. I don't know if you didn't did it. Nobody knows. That's not on our job. That's on the burden of proof is on the state or the country, right? So he could be innocent. But if you're supposedly on the run for this, and you see this poster, and you being online has a digital footprint. So they can track where you are. If you're on your cell phone, that's even easier. So they know where you are. And then you, in turn, decide to report. If you report it, it's going to leave a stamp of where you reported it from, when you reported it. And then who you're reporting it to? Facebook? Facebook, who owns and actively states that they in no way will hesitate at all to report you to local and federal authorities in any country if you're suspected of anything. If you post something on Facebook that they don't like, they flag it or take it down or control it. Come on, gentlemen. I mean, but I don't know. You know, I don't know. The moral or the fact of this whole episode, I guess. I'm kind of speechless. I don't even know. I lost my train of thought. Why would you? I don't get it.
Listen. There are some things that hit you mentally and actually give you a concussion, and this is just one of those things.
My head hurts trying to figure out why would you give up your location over social media? Why would you post? Who cares if this is an opinion? Yeah. So
your freedom is in jeopardy.
Right.
So we go back to the brother with the 186 million. Your freedom is in jeopardy. This person is set for a few hundred lives.
Right.
But you all find the time. You all find the time to get involved in these frivolous things. I don't understand it.
Brother Gabba, any final thoughts on any of this?
Listen, we just gotta start being stupid, man. All right, because stupidity has no race, color, or creed. All right, we just gotta stop being stupid. And hey, somebody out there, I'm pretty sure Liz looking for something. Swipe right on her.
She looking for something. Lots of people take that chance. We'll take that bid. Ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, thank you always. It's a pleasure. Looking at our analytics for the past month, we've had almost 3,000 impressions, close to 2,500 between our two platforms here. We definitely want to say thank you for joining us. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. We are in the process of making upgrades to our show and our platform. We want you to be a part of that change and that movement. Come here for a laugh. Come here for the truth. Come here for a thought. Come here for our opinion. Or come here and express your opinion, but you will be soon able to do so. Myself, Tony Bahama, and Malik Aligamba, we thank you for being a part of our 20th show. Our 20th show here. And hopefully many, many more. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time.
Let me go. See, there we go. I know destination, you never been there before. Oh, no reservation, come on, let's go and explore.